Hello everyone. Today we are testing Black Myth Wukong on RTX 5090 Astral, and the processor that I am pairing it with is 9950X3D. Let's look at the settings. So, sorry, this is the graphic setting. So it was running in DLSS quality mode. Now I am running it in DLAA because it is at 100%. Frame generation should be turned off. I'm applying the changes and let's run the benchmark. Actually, this game is running on Unreal Engine 5, so it shares the quirks of that engine with other games. All right, so we are getting 30-ish FPS. The power consumption is around 550, 560. The utilization is 99% or 100%. And it looks, at least to my eye, it looks very... There are a lot of micro stutters, although the graphics quality looks good, but I doubt uh, the game will be playable on the settings. The water quality, at least visually now, as I'm not giving it any input, it looks fine, because generally the standard broadcast refresh rate is around 24 or 28 megahertz, if I'm not correct, or fps. So yeah, it is similar to that. So as this is a benchmark, it looks okay, but when we try to play the game, I am sure it will not be a good experience. And I really think that the game developers should optimize their games better, because this is the top of the line GPU. The it is as good as it gets for gaming GPUs. Still, we are getting 30 FPS, which is not playable at all. Although settings are all maxed out, but still 30 FPS is way too low. And I think the optimization should be better, because if 5090 is doing this, then what will 5080 do? 5070? And uh, very few people will have the money to buy this GPU, right? So I'm not sure what will happen to people who are buying mid-range or entry-level cards. This is now kind of a habit of game developers to not optimize the game better and rely on DLSS and frame generation. This is actually not acceptable. Okay, whatever. So uh, let's change the settings, bring it down a bit, and see if it improves anything. Again, let's go to graphics. Yeah. Now let's keep it at 66. Yeah, because generally DLSS quality modes, the default settings for this one is at the 66%. So let's apply that just to make sure everything else is running in cinematic mode. Let's run the benchmark again. I will reset the afterburner so that we have better FPS measurement. This is DLSS quality mode. We are getting 60-ish FPS, though it is acceptable, but given that it is a fast-paced game, I would expect it to be a bit more. I don't think that this is ideal, but it is playable, no doubt about it. Visually, it does not look much different from the native resolution that we were running earlier. It just looks smoother. Yeah, I think the DLSS quality mode at least does a very good job at upscaling the image, because it literally looks identical to the native one, but it takes off the load from the GPU, because in DLSS quality mode the image rendered, or the graphics rendered, is at 1440p, and then it is upscaled to 4K resolution. So 1440p is also a decent resolution, so that the details are not lost completely. That's why I think this also looks nearly identical to the native resolution. But if we reduce it further, then you will start noticing the differences in image quality. The sharpness somehow uh, is not there when we go below DLSS quality mode. We'll test that, and I will give you my opinions. Even though it may not be fully captured on YouTube. Although I am using a capture card, this is not the GPU resources are not being utilized for this recording. But yeah, YouTube also does some compression and other stuff, the post processing. So yeah, it may not reflect what I am seeing directly in front of me. All right, so we are at 56 FPS. Uh, I would say this is decent, but I expect a bit more from 5090, especially. Now, again, let's turn the settings down a bit more. It, let's try 50%. Okay, so let's try balanced mode. So, balanced mode is still 55. So, from from so DLA is still 90%. All right. So from 90 to 62. Okay. So from 90 to 62 it is DLSS quality, and from 61 to 61 to 55. So it is a very thin margin for balanced. So maybe let's try it in the middle, 58. Let's apply this and see what sort of performance do we get. I think we will get a very slight increase in performance, but not much than that. Because it is like a linear scale. So at 66%, actually 66% is something that that is recommended settings for 5090. That's why I used that. But yeah, in balanced mode, this is also looking quite good. Although I may say that it is less sharp, but it might be just a placebo effect. I don't know. It could be. It could be. It could be my mind is seeing the image like this because I have turned down the settings. But I would say it is still very close to DLSS quality mode. I'm not seeing too much difference here. It this also looks pretty good to my eye. The water and everything is looking quite decent. Yeah, I think if you don't want frame generation, this graphics setting is uh is a good balance. That's why it is called balance mode, I suppose. And yeah, it is plenty sharp. I am seeing enough details, and frame rate is also 70ish FPS, so not too bad, I would say. I'm not sure. The 1% lows here in the afterburner and this NVIDIA overlay shows a lot of discrepancy. I'm not sure why, and I think it is only for this game. For other games, the measurement is quite accurate. Because if there's this much difference in 1% lows, then we should see a lot more stutters, which I am not seeing at this point. All right. So it is running. So we gained around 10, 11 FPS. I think this is good enough. Although I would have expected the frame rate to be a bit more higher, like 75 FPS or something. But yeah, this it is what it is. All right, now let's turn down a bit the settings a bit more. So performance mode starts at around 55 to 40. Performance mode starts from 55 to 40, right? So let's keep it somewhere in the middle. So like 47, 47. Yeah, I think that's a good middle ground. Let's run it again. So now this is what I would expect it to be, a playable frame rate. I must say DLSS does a very good job in upscaling because the details are still there, though I would say that the image looks less sharp than before. I think, yeah, visually it is looking a bit less sharp. It's not as sharp as it was in quality mode. The details are slightly lacking, but it's not too much, I would say. It is still the game looks pretty good, and I can play it on the settings without any problem. So now the power consumption also dropped to around 480, so like 70-80 megahertz less than before, than the native mode. But this does look quite decent, to be honest. I can play the game like this without any problems. Although I will show you how I like to play this game. We will, after this benchmarks, we will also try to play the game and see the experience. Okay, so it is now uh, 80 FPS. Yeah, uh, I am not quite happy with the way the games nowadays are performing because the optimization seems lacking. All right, so now uh, let's try native mode with frame generation at 2x. Let's try to play the game and see how it feels like. I would say that frame generation in native mode makes it quite playable. There are very uh, there are some micro stutters. It's not completely smooth, but it can still be played like this, in my opinion. I mean, I can play it like this easily. Though I would say that it doesn't look that responsive. Yeah, there is some lag. It is due to FPS, I believe. Yeah. The experience is not very smooth, to be honest. It is fine. It is playable, but I can sense some tiny amount of lag because of it. Okay, let's try to keep it at 4x and see how it feels like. So now it looks much more smooth. I would say that they are doing a pretty good job at with frame generation. Means it does feel quite good in my opinion. It is playable. I can see myself playing on the settings without any problem.
Who goes there? Take it down!
Yeah, I think this is quite playable. I can easily play it like this. Yeah, This is actually playable. I can play it like this. Although I will say that I feel a very tiny bit of latency, but it is not much.
You come our way. Surely you will pay.
I don't know. But I would say this is a decent experience. I can play it like this without any problem. I do feel some lag, but it is not too much. Okay, now let's change the setting a bit more. Okay, so now let's try. So quality starts at 90%, okay, and 89, and it goes down to 60, from 90 to 60. So let's keep it at 75. I will turn off frame generation. Yeah, I now feel some lag. It's not very. I feel micro stutters. It's not completely smooth. Let's try to enable frame generation here. Let's make it 2x. Yeah. Now this is the perfect sweet spot in my opinion. It is plenty sharp, it feels responsive, and I like to play the game like this on this setting. Let's try one thing. Let's try some overclocking. So let's turn off DLSS and see if overclocking helps. So yeah, let's try to see what is the base framework rate that we get, and then change. Then let's enable manual overclocking. Okay, so yeah, we are at around 60 FPS. I don't think that manual overclocking would make too much difference in it, but let's try. Okay, so this is my pre-configured settings. It is around 325 megahertz above. 325 as core offset, and memory offset is 3000 plus 3000. And let's see. All right. So I think we gained around 7-8 FPS. Yeah, now earlier we were dipping below 60, now we are consistently above 60, 68. So this is also quite decent in my opinion. Okay, so now I would like to show you how I personally play this game. Okay, so currently we are consuming around 500 watts, right? And the FPS that we are getting is around 60. I have uh, an undervolt that I usually play with. So it is at 9 millivolts and 3000 core offset. This is how my curve looks like. And you see, we are getting around the same FPS, 60 plus, but power consumption is now reduced by 80 to 100 watts. So that also brings down the temperature. Now temperature is around 60, and we are also saving 100 megahertz. So this is generally the setting that I mostly play in, although I also enable DLSS. This is decent, although I will say that it does not feel ultra smooth. That's why I generally enable DLSS at 2x mode. Yeah, now this feels perfect to me. It's a good balance between sharpness as well as the smoothness and image quality. That's why I generally play this game on my undervolted profile with frame generation at 2x and DLSS quality mode at 75%. Right, that should do for this one. I hope you find the information that I shared in this video helpful, and if you would like me to test any other graphics card or any other game, please put down in the comments and I will try to make that happen. Thanks for watching. See you. Bye.